軽いもんだ。だけどこれだけやるのになぜ父さんは私を一人前だと認めてくれないんだ。よし、もう一度。
After several years of only releasing movies that were composed of mostly stock footage with original narration elements, including Ultraman in 1979, Ultraman Great Monster Decisive Battle, and Ultraman Sophie Ultra Warriors vs. the Giant Monster Army, in the summer of 1984, Tsuburaya Productions released a new film that was mostly an original work, Ultraman Story. Released on July 14, this new movie would play alongside another Tsuburaya production, Anime-chan. Anime-chan featured a story that was co-authored by Ultraman Story's writer Yasushi Hirano and made use of three classic Tsuburaya kaiju, Kanagon, Pikmon, and Busca. Ultraman Story would also be paired up at various movie events with Shodenshi Bioman, the movie, which was also released on July 14. While Ultraman Story was mostly an original work, it still made heavy use of stock footage from all the Ultra TV series through Ultraman 80, which roughly accounted for 40% of its running time. The movie is a coming-of-age story for Ultraman Taro, showcasing his early days and ambitions to become a strong Ultra Warrior like his elder brothers. The story's conflict would center on his relationship with Father of Ultra and the intensive training he would put Taro through. Each of Taro's failures and successes would lead to Father of Ultra explaining why he still wasn't ready and leveraging archive videos of past battles between the Ultra Warriors and various monsters to help Taro understand where he can improve and push himself even harder. However, as we get closer to the end of the story, we discover why Father of Ultra had been pushing Taro with such intense training. It was in anticipation of the return of Judah, who Father of Ultra defeated 50,000 years ago and describes as the greatest threat in the universe, a monster born by a distortion in space. With his training completed, it would be up to Ultraman Taro to save the Ultra Warriors and defeat Judah, who has manifested himself as the fusion monster, Grand King. With a running time of 93 minutes, Ultraman Story is a short but fun time capsule of Tsuburaya's 1980s production design and storytelling. The sets and visual effects used in this film have what I would describe as a late 70s, early 80s sci-fi and fantasy aesthetic to them that is very unique to this period. Adding to this vibe is the inclusion of many of Mark McInnes' musical tracks, which had originally been composed for the 1981 North American adaptation of Ultraman Jonius, The Adventures of Ultraman. This choice for the movie's soundtrack was carried over from Tsuburaya's 1983 TV production Andromelos, which used McInnes' music for its soundtrack. And as it turns out, the music was not the only part of Andromelos that would be repurposed in Ultraman Story. Judah, who was the primary antagonist in the Andromelos series, would also be repurposed as the villain in this movie. The highlight of Ultraman Story is the marquee battle against fusion monster Grand King, starting with a space melee between Grand King and the Ultra Brothers and then shifting to planet Ferrand. This sequence would be the biggest cinematic Ultra battle through this period and for many years after. Grand King's costume design, built-in electronics, and the special effects that brought his attacks to life were a big step up from previous Tsuburaya production features. This made for an exciting battle against the 6 Ultra Brothers and his final duel against Ultraman Taro. As a whole, this movie made for a great curtain call to this era of the Ultraman series and the release of compilation movies, at least through 1996, when the Ultra series returned to theaters with another compilation movie and a brand new original work. To learn more about these, check out our Ultraman Surf video. If you're a fan of the early Ultraman series and haven't watched Ultraman Story, I highly recommend tracking it down. It's a short but fun watch.